The Celtics are back. They take Game 3 in Cleveland, 106-93. We saw a lot of bad habits resurface towards the beginning of this game. We saw them pull themselves out of it. I saw energy. I saw emotion, which I really had not been seeing from the Celtics, who have had the best record in the NBA for the longest time. That now I had a really bad feeling maybe they're thinking we can just cruise by. But no, tonight we saw the dog in the Celtics, and more importantly, we saw the dog in Jayson Tatum come out. We're going to be breaking down the stats and the highlights of the best players here for the Celtics to help them get this win. Talk about what went wrong for the Cavaliers and how they could still always bounce back here in Game 4 in Cleveland. So we're going to break that down in just a few moments. But first, I want to ask guys to go ahead and hit that sub button for me. Help us get to 27,500 subscribers, because we are live for every single Boston Celtics game. We post about 5 videos a week talking about everything you need to know about your Boston Celtics. And we did hit 27,000 subscribers tonight, and look how many we've already gained. Join this community. I promise you guys will not be disappointed. And here's why I wasn't disappointed tonight, is because Jayson Tatum came to play. A double-double, 6 assists, 44% from the field, 25% from the three. That's okay. You didn't really need his three ball tonight because everybody else was stepping up in those areas. I saw Jayson Tatum get pissed off at the refs, and that's fine. But he took that aggression and he put it into his game. He was dunking on players. He was blowing by big men. He was flexing to the crowd. I started to see the Jayson Tatum that Smitty and I have been talking about. Where the hell has he been?
You're not wrong. He totally looked like the aggressor tonight offensively. When he got a mismatch, when Strus was one-on-one and there wasn't much help defense being played by Cleveland, he decided to take the matchup, take it to the rack, or shoot a jump shot in the mid-range. When Evan Mobley was on him on the perimeter, he decided that he can't guard him off the bounce, so he took him to the rack. Jayson Tatum tonight, yes, it wasn't the most efficient night. Definitely more efficient than we've seen as far as the two-point game. Three-point game obviously still needs some work. But he opened the game 2 for 2 from 3, setting the tone scoring-wise for this Celtics team. And we know this team only goes as far as Jayson Tatum can take them. We know there are so many threats to score from the outside, from all 3 levels, I'll have you. But Jayson Tatum is, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, when Derek White goes missing, when Jrue Holiday goes missing, when Jaylen Brown's not shooting effectively from outside, Jayson Tatum has to be the guy that steps up. We are straining ourselves saying that this over and over again, and he delivered tonight. 13 boards as well, 6 assists. He was the focal point of the Celtics offense, and he played great defense as well on the wing and down low.
And the best thing ever for the Boston Celtics that they could ever want in a playoff game is to have Jayson Tatum put up these type of numbers, but then to have his surrounding teammates put up numbers very similar to Jayson Tatum's, which I was really impressed with what the other Boston Celtics had to do tonight in the starting lineup. One man in particular was Jrue Holiday. Holiday, who offensively we have not seen in the postseason. And I was normally okay with the 8 points, the 4 points, the 6 points here and there, because he's so influential in assists. He's so influential in defensive rebounds. So I understand that. But tonight, I needed to see him, especially because you're missing a huge chunk of scoring with Kristaps. Al Horford's not going to be the guy to be scoring every single night. The bench can't always produce. They're pretty wishy-washy. So to have Jrue Holiday, who was starting off for the Celtics, and more importantly, when Tatum needed a rest, Holiday took over,
stepped up
on the offensive front, and you have to have that. You can't let the Cavs go on a run when Tatum needs a rest, because he's not a superhuman. He has to take a minute to breathe, and Jrue Holiday did nothing but great things when Tatum was on the bench.
Yeah, I said Jrue Holiday is my X factor before this game began, and it's because of the inefficiencies we've seen from him on the offensive end. He's basically not been a factor whatsoever. Tonight, first quarter, off the jump, the guy was effective. He was muscling his way into the lane, finishing over bigger defenders, and shooting the 3-ball effectively, finding himself open in the corner, finding himself on the wing. He played, this is arguably one of the best games I've seen Jrue Holiday play as a Celtic. And great for it to come at this point in the postseason when he had been missing in action for so long, comes back at the right time, because a guy like Derek White has kind of cooled off for the last couple of games. Jrue Holiday answered the call, stepped up massively, setting the tone for this team offensively.
And was it the right time to step up? Let me tell you, because it was a dogfight to start this game off. It really was. We saw a lot of bad habits that we had seen in Game 2. where they were just mismatching on defenders. They were not reading the screens. They were
Yeah.
allowing players to drive by him and make easy layups without an ounce of defense. And more importantly, there was zero off-ball movement on offense here for the Celtics. So Jrue Holiday was a huge factor in the win tonight, and I hope to see more of that here in Game 4.
Absolutely. And Donovan Mitchell obviously goes for 33, right? 23 of those came in the first half.
Yep.
And that was the result of getting bad switches. He was having his way with Al Horford. I never need to see Al Horford play isolation defense on Donovan Mitchell ever again because he's cooked chicken. He's 38 years old.
Nuts.
And he's also 6'9", not laterally quick enough to keep up with a guy like Donovan Mitchell. But applaud the second half performance the Celtics had defensively against Mitchell. They were picking him up out beyond the three-point line, not really letting him get to his spots, not letting him get comfortable in the flow of the offense. So, yes, it looks daunting that Donovan Mitchell put up 33, but he's going to do this every single game. It's going to happen for Cleveland. They need him to put up at least 25, 30 a game for them to even be competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
But I applaud the defense that they played on him in the second half.
No, yeah, Donovan Mitchell, he really wanted to try to find that same energy and same spark that he had in Game 2 where he got really hot and he was flexing the crowd and the Celtics were just not allowing him to have that moment. And you could see how desperately Donovan Mitchell was trying to have his moment of shine. Everybody's screaming my name. I'm that guy. And the Celtics were like, not tonight, dude. You do that to us in TD Garden, we're going to take that moment away from you in your own arena. And I do think that Jaylen Brown here was a huge factor. I
honestly did not realize how insane of a line Jaylen Brown had tonight. 28, 9, 3 on 13 of 17 shooting. And guess what? He only attempted 3 triples. He didn't make that a focal point of his game. He decided that he was going to be strong. He's the strongest player, in my opinion, on the team. You go pound for pound.
Yep.
And he decided to use his muscles, use his shoulder to get down in the lane, hit tough shots over closing out defenders. Jaylen Brown tonight in the mid-range, down low, in the lane, played one of his best games that I've ever seen offensively. He didn't rely on the three-point game to carry him and open up the rest. He just went out there and took it.
I love what even when JB wasn't making some shots with his left hand like he had been, of course, he still can't make his free throws. He was still finding other ways to score, which I did think talked a lot about his leadership here on the offense, was that he was continuing to drive. There was one play in particular that I loved in the third quarter here for the Celtics was Derek White had a pass to Jaylen Brown down low. He tried to do a couple pump fakes around Evan Mobley. Wasn't open. Dished it back out. About 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Couple more passes on the three-point line. They went back to JB down low, and he found another way to score around Mobley. Yep. I liked that they didn't just completely turn the play away. They didn't just rely on the three ball here. They trusted Jaylen Brown. They knew he'd find another way to score, and he was scoring from every facet of the floor.
And you mentioned something, finishing over Evan Mobley. The Celtics did not shy away from taking shots underneath the basket, even though there would be 1-2 defenders down there guarding them. And it ended up paying dividends. You saw over the flow of the game, over the course of the game, those shots ended up coming easier because they were so comfortable taking them. So excellent job by the Celtics, playing super efficiently in the paint tonight. The three ball, it was average. It was just good enough to keep the Cavaliers at bay whenever they made a run. But I loved what I saw from Jaylen Brown, and I loved what I saw from Jayson Tatum offensively in this game. Shout out Jrue Holiday as well.
And with that being said, I want to ask you a question here. It's not necessarily a slump. Tatum still does
shooting slump. It's a shooting efficiency slump. He's been good facilitating the offense, being that playmaker. He's been great on defense. But as far as shooting efficiency goes, this is probably the best that we've seen from Jayson Tatum.
No,
and it wasn't even that great. So
put your yes or no's down in the comments section below. And while you guys are doing that, talking about JT's game in just a few moments. But first and foremost, I do got to tell you guys about PrizePicks, our sponsor here on Celtics Today. If you guys want a really fun daily fantasy sports app, I highly suggest going to the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. Of course, that is PrizePicks. All you guys have to do is pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. I play PrizePicks every single game, and I play PrizePicks for the future games, which includes the WNBA debut for Caitlin Clark on Tuesday. If she makes one basket, you win. Just got to take the more on her having at least half a bucket, and it's Caitlin Clark for crying out loud. That's an easy win. I'm taking that, and you guys should too. But for tonight's game, I did have Donovan Mitchell and Jayson Tatum having more than 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Tatum having more than 42 points, rebounds, and assists. And they both were successful. I'm going home with some money, and here's why you guys should too. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's truly that easy.
I want to talk a little bit more about Jayson Tatum here
As we
because, again, he's the engine that makes this offense flow. I didn't see him getting the coverage that he got against Miami, that he got early in this series against Cleveland in Game 1. And that's opened up a lot for him. And maybe he had to adjust to not seeing that coverage in Game 2. That resulted in him just kind of staying in the corner, being stagnant in the offense. But tonight, he took it and ran with it. And I couldn't be happier with the trajectory that Jayson Tatum is on now because the shots fell tonight, but he still only shot 44% from the field, 25 from 3. Imagine he shoots 50% from the field, 35% from 3. He's got almost 40 points in this ballgame. He got to the free throw line. He was attacking, finishing over bigger defenders, and I can't say enough good things about what Jayson Tatum did tonight.
And I think the thing I love most about Jayson Tatum's game is that previously he said, the first quarter is not really my game. I let Jaylen Brown, I let Derek White, I let Kristaps kind of do the thing, but the fact that he came out of the gun scoring, whether it's from the 3-ball or down low, I loved it because he's like, you know what, I can't afford to let my teammates take over in the first quarter without my help.
Agreed.
I need to start scoring in that first quarter right out of the gate, and I liked what he did there.
I liked what the defense that he played on Evan Mobley as well.
Beautiful.
Whenever they got matched up one-on-one,
Yep.
and that's been something that the Celtics have gone to. In the regular season, they started Jayson Tatum on Jarrett Allen, but we haven't seen him so far in this postseason. This series, they've started Jayson Tatum defending Evan Mobley, and he's done a great job. The only way that Evan Mobley has been getting efficient buckets, especially in Game 3, was when he had a wide-open roll. The Celtics' pick-and-roll defense was not my favorite tonight, but they overcame it, and they ended up answering any run that Cleveland had. Evan Mobley only saw success when he had downhill to the bucket, and nobody else was really defending him. When he had one-on-one with Jayson Tatum, I thought the defense was immaculate.
Oh, 100%. We even saw people like Sam Hauser, who did a good job of locking up Evan Mobley in some plays because, unfortunately, I just don't think that Horford and Mobley actually do complement each other in a matchup here. I do think that they need Kristaps back. I've loved seeing what Luke Cornett can do against Evan Mobley, but also with Al Horford's age, he can't go up against Evan Mobley every single play. It's going to take him out of the game a lot quicker.
Horford was rough tonight, man.
Yeah, it's not my favorite game from Horford.
Offensively and defensively, 0 for 7. Al Horford, if you're 0 for 4 from 3, you might have to hang it up,
and
bro.
He just
not retire. I'm saying you might have to just eliminate that shot from your game. Maybe take 2 dribbles into the lane. Defense collapses.
Hang out
take
by
it out
the
to
post.
another shooter. I can't have you shooting threes when you're 0 for 5 from distance.
No, it's terrible.
It was not my favorite Al Horford performance. And maybe this is on coaching, but him getting stuck on Donovan Mitchell on so many isolation possessions in the first half was the reason that Cleveland was even in this ballgame to begin with. They took that away in the second half, and look what the wonders that ended up happening. I thought it was a good adjustment by Joe Mazzulla in the second half, but that can't happen again in Game 4 because Donovan Mitchell could get way hotter than he did tonight.
The Celtics did a lot better tonight in terms of the box score, 22 assists, 51 boards, but they shot 38% from downtown. It was not the same answer in Game 2, which we have known when our 3-ball doesn't hit, we tend to fall apart. All of a sudden, the Celtics forget, there are other ways to score a basketball, not just from downtown. And same thing for the Cavaliers. They did not shoot 50% from the three-point line. They shot a pretty good 33%, and you got to credit Donovan Mitchell for most of those. Same with Darius Garland, but Okoro, Strus, Dean Wade, they were all non-existent tonight. Plus, you only held them at 43% from the field. That's excellent. And then you got 40 boards and 17 assists. You beat them in both of those facets. So I think the Celtics all around played better ball.
I wholeheartedly agree. Maybe it's just the fact that Cleveland was missing more open threes in this ballgame that results in the rebound disparity. But 22 assists on 41 made baskets, I'm loving that every time.
Yep.
You hold the Cavaliers to under a 50% clip in that regard. They had 17 to a 36, so that you made them take more shots in isolation, and it ended up paying dividends because there was no rhythm for the Cavaliers there in the second half. Yes, Celtics opened the third quarter on a 14-0 run. Then the Cavs respond with a 9-0 run of their own, but that was really the last real punch that we saw from Cleveland. I think that was the last time that they even had it under double-digit deficit there in the second half. So I loved what I saw from the Celtics tonight. It wasn't an otherworldly performance. I know 51% from the field is very good and 38% from 3 is very good, But it wasn't an otherworldly performance offensively for me from Boston tonight. Maybe you think differently, Allie, but I think that there's a lot of room for improvement here moving into Game 4 and beyond.
I'm not satisfied at all. I think the bad habits are still very much present, and I think that maybe even a tougher opponent than the Cavaliers, it's going to continue to show that. And the Cavs have done a really good job of contesting the Celtics and really making them push here in this second round, but I'm intrigued to see what they do here in Game 4.
Agreed.
With that being said, Smitty and I gave you our takes, showed you the stats. Go ahead and comment down below. What do the Celtics need to adjust for Game 4? It is still in Cleveland. It is still a road game. They do better on the road, but I want you guys to tell me. Go ahead and comment that down below. Let me know. Be Joe Mazzulla here just for a quick second. And while you guys are at it, as always, hit that sub button for me. We'll be live on Monday for Game 4 and 5 and every other game after that. So all you guys have to do is subscribe.